Good day. So glad you could join us for another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. Today we're celebrating two important observances, World Soil Day and International Volunteer Day. The celebration of World and International Days of Observance is a call to action, urging you to do your part in making this planet a better place for generations to come. And at the end of the show, we hope you'll be inspired to do what you can in your little pond that can cause a ripple effect and impact the world. So without any further hesitation, the magazine starts right now.
A healthy and educated people living in a clean, natural environment, reducing crime, improving the justice system and governance, building a prosperous economy. It's not just a vision, it's reality. Learn about the plan. Join the vision.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to live, work, raise family, and to do business.
For more information on Vision 2030, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or visit vision2030.gov.jm, your parish library, school library, or the Jamaica Information Service.
Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith, and this is your JIS News from Monday, December 5. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett is encouraging industry players to continue to improve on their products, even as the island swept the 23rd World Travel Awards recently. The island won 10 awards, including the prestigious World's Leading Personality for Outstanding Services to Travel, secured by Minister Bartlett. The island also won individual awards for World's Leading Cruise Destination and World's Leading Wedding Destination. Other awards won by Jamaica and its resorts and travel partners were World's Leading Luxury Hotel Villa, New Island Resort, Villa Resort, Family Resort Brand, All-Inclusive Company, and Caribbean Attractions Company. Minister Bartlett said Friday's win in the Maldives was a ringing endorsement of government's policies and programs geared at enhancing the island's tourism product. He also expressed hope that the wins will translate into a boost in the island's upcoming winter tourist season. Back in Jamaica, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government is looking to implement staff welfare programs so that teachers maintain a productive, healthy, and rewarding career. This, Mr. Holness says, forms part of his administration's commitment to transform the island's education sector.
I know the minister is looking at several programs in that regard. I hope that you work very closely with the JTA to ensure that our teachers are protected, supported, right? Because it's not always about the pay, but it is the quality of the experience in the career that also counts.
The Prime Minister was speaking at the recent LASCO Minister of Education, Youth and Information Teacher and Principal of the Year Awards ceremony. The top two awardees come from St. Elizabeth Technical High School. In the meantime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is encouraging the use of technology to promote inclusion of the disabled into society. Mr. Holness says harnessing the transformational power of technology is part of government's vision to create sustainable development for all. The Prime Minister's charge was included in a message at Sunday's church service to start Disabilities Awareness Week in Mapen, Clarendon. That message was read by President of Youth for Change, Dyrasai Freckleton.
The unparalleled potential of computing technology must be embraced to assist the disabled community to become full and equal participants in the growth and the development of this great country, Jamaica land we love. Disabled persons have incredible talents and potential. To realize and maximize that potential, we as a society need to embrace and support them. I make a special plea for Jamaicans to be more caring, loving, and accommodating to persons living with a disability.
The Prime Minister said government has also fast-tracked work to ensure the full implementation of the 2014 Disabilities Act. Disabilities Awareness Week 2016 is being observed under the theme Inclusive Information Communication Technologies, the Way to the Future. Government says it will be implementing a raft of measures, including policies and legislation, to address gender-based violence. Portfolio Minister Olivia Grange says the Sexual Harassment Bill is ready for submission to Cabinet, while the Parliamentary Committee to review the Sexual Offences Act will be announced before the end of the year. A national strategic action plan to eliminate gender-based violence will also be handed over to Cabinet shortly. The plan will incorporate a full range of support services that will be rolled out over a 10-year period, 2016 to 2026.
The implementation plan includes an entire program on victims' protection, on redress, on reparation, and rehabilitation.
Minister Grange was addressing a JIS think tank on December 1. And the Bureau of Gender Affairs has embarked on 16 days of activism surrounding the November 25 observation of International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Activities target vulnerable men, women, girls, and boys to promote positive cultural change. And finally, the Jamaica Constabulary Force is urging its members to be on alert at all times as the threat level against them remains at extreme. A special warning was also issued to off-duty officers to take whatever legal actions necessary to protect themselves, colleagues, and their families. The warning follows Sunday morning's killing of 31-year-old Corporal Kemoy Miller, who was attached to the Kingston Eastern Police Division. Corporal Miller, who was off-duty at the time, was found in the Maxfield Park area slumped over the steering wheel of a motor vehicle with multiple gunshot wounds. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.
This is Romain Virgo. I'm here appeal to all of the youths them to just stay away from crime and violence. We know the temptation, the money, the fast life. People say them rate you. But that will only take you nowhere. If you stay in school and focus, then you can achieve anything. Be your own leader. A gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness had several engagements this past week. Catch the highlights next.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness lauds Fidel Castro for contribution to the region, reiterates government's unremitting resolve to address crime, and welcomes the latest tourist attraction on the island's north coast. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Lorraine Mendez. At the start of last week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness led the governing Jamaica Labour Party JLP to victory in the local government elections. On Monday, the JLP secured the majority council seats in 9 parishes, while the opposition People's National Party held on to 3 parishes and the municipality of Portmore. There was a tie in the St. Thomas Parish Council. Magisterial recounts are scheduled for Monday, December 5 and Tuesday, December 6 for the Ginger Ridge, Salt Spring and Landui divisions. Tuesday saw Prime Minister Holness visiting the Cuban embassy in Jamaica, where he signed a condolence book for former Cuban President Fidel Castro, who passed away on November 25.
We join with the people of Cuba in mourning, but in more so celebrating his life, his work, and his contribution to Cuba and to the region.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaking to reporters in Cuba as he arrived to attend a private mass celebrating Castro's life Tuesday evening. Before his departure for Cuba, Prime Minister Holness welcomed the Ministry of Education's move to make it mandatory for principals, vice principals, and other middle managers to be certified by the National College for Educational Leadership, NCEL. Mr. Holness asserted that academic certification was not sufficient to ensure effective management of schools, as he believes institutional leadership is not theoretical, but more of an action-driven endeavor.
You see, the big problem was that we were appointing teachers to become principals and then retrofit them with the skills to manage the school. So you ended up, each time you transition in principals, with a 3 or 4 year gap. So I think this move, which you have now said, Minister, is a good move that will strengthen the management and leadership of our schools.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking at the LASCO and Ministry of Education, Youth and Information Teacher and Principal of the Year Awards lunch on Tuesday. St. Elizabeth Technical High School swept the awards, copping both the Principal and Teacher of the Year prizes. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness saluted another group of nation builders, this time civil servants. Over 500 persons who've given 25 years or more of service to the public sector were awarded at King's House. Before that, Mr. Holness dispatched Minister Darrell Vaz to deliver his remarks at the opening ceremony for the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change Conference.
I urge you all to arm yourselves with the knowledge of threats posed by the impacts of climate change and how we can act to lessen and perhaps even reverse these impacts, not only on our bottom lines, but on our lives.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness filled 2 posts critical to national security last week. On Thursday, Brigadier General Rocky Meade was sworn in as Chief of Defence Staff, and former Chief of Defence Staff Major General Anthony Anderson took up office as the island's first National Security Advisor. While expressing confidence in Major General Meade's ability to get the job done, Mr. Holness thanked Major General Anderson for his 6 years in the top post at the Jamaica Defence Force. The Prime Minister used Thursday's swearing-in ceremony to reiterate government's commitment to tackle crime through the National Security Council.
The National Security Council is spearheading an integrated and comprehensive set of measures and actions which will significantly and sustainably reduce crime in our country. Areas to be carefully examined will include deployment, mobility, investigative capacities, procedures and legislation as we move to secure Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has expressed interest in strengthening U.S.-Jamaica relations in the area of investment. Mr. Holness shared that wish during a telephone conversation with United States Vice President-elect Governor Mike Pence. Both pledged to continue their dialogue on areas of mutual interest, including national security, trade, and investment.
I am pleased to be associated with yet another project which signals the growth of our tourism industry.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness welcoming the Yaman Adventure Park at Prospect in St. Mary. The 1,000-acre property received a 6-month $1 million upgrade and now employs 200 staff and 150 indirect workers. Mr. Holness used the newest tourist attraction to announce the increases in the tourism figures for 2016. He said between January and October, stopover arrivals were up 2.3% and cruise passenger arrivals climbed more than 9% when compared to last year.
This has resulted in increased earnings from the sector. Gross earnings from tourism now stands at 5.7% above last year. That's a great performance and clearly ties in with this administration's mission of growing the economy by 5% in 4 years.
Back at Jamaica House, Prime Minister Holness held discussions with the board of the Heart Trust NTA. He was updated on the work the National Training Agency has been doing to improve the skills of Jamaicans. And Mr. Holness closed out his busy week at the Jamaica Constabulary Force's annual cocktail function. And that's how we close today's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Do join us again next time for the latest news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Today, the world celebrates an important component of nutrition for the foods we eat, our soil. The soil not only filters and stores water, it is also an effective tool in the fight against climate change. That's why soil conservation is so necessary.
Where the land is steep, massive land slippage is likely to occur. Such soil erosion is more common where the land is left bare and there is heavy rainfall. Agricultural activities are often restricted. Though naturally occurring, soil erosion is also triggered by what we do, like cutting down trees and shrubs, which then leaves the land bare. On the contrary, there are things we can do and don't do to reduce and even prevent soil erosion from occurring. Farmers in the Blue Mountain Range are aware of the need for proper soil conservation practices, not only to protect the environment, but also their crops.
Most farmers utilize contour farming, right, as a soil conservation technique. We plant coffee along the contour to mitigate soil erosion and to minimize effect of runoff water. We do other methods, for example, individual basin, check dam, and the fundamental reason of a check dam on the slope is to trap the flow of the water so you have a lesser flow and to run off.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, in partnership with the Forestry Department, has also been promoting agroforestry. This involves the growing of trees with agricultural crops. Rows of shrubs or trees are planted along the contour of sloping fields and crops grown between the rows. Then there's border planting, where trees are placed along the border of farm fields or other boundaries. It is best to have some lands left undisturbed so natural forest growth can take root. Based on the hazards involved, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, has been working with community organizations, encouraging farmers not to remove trees to plant cash crops in these hilly areas.
We want to discourage farmers from the nomadic agricultural practice where you move from place to cut down the hillside to plant crops. So instead of cutting down 2 acres, you do a greenhouse this size, say 30 by 90, and you get much more than you'd get out of 2 acres.
Protective cultivation techniques like the greenhouse method provide the means for sustainable development in hilly terrains while keeping the land under vegetative cover. Surely, as is being demonstrated here, the trees providing cover can all be of economic benefit.
We have guava here. Out there you can see a garden cherry. Here you can see that's a custard apple. So we have a variety of fruits, as well as we have a variety of timber. But on this steeper slope down here, as you can see, you have a mahogany there, you have a mao there, you have bitter damsel, you have neem, you have teak, all different species. And the reason for this is to encourage the farmer to plant, because in the short term you will benefit from the fruit immediately.
The case may arise when it might seem necessary to remove a tree, but then comes an important responsibility.
If you move this mango tree, over a period of time, the root rot. Plant a mao, or you plant a mahogany, or you plant a neem, or any other tree, for argument's sake. If you have to move a tree, replace it.
Join in the effort. Protect and conserve this important natural resource, or soil. Until next time, take care.
Hi, I'm Chris Tufton, Jamaica's Minister of Health. Zika virus threatens all of us, but as individuals, we have the power to protect ourselves. 75% of mosquito breeding sites are found in and around our homes. So if we all do our part in getting rid of these mosquito breeding sites, we will reduce the risk of becoming infected. It's our responsibility. Individual action is key. Let's fight Zika.
Recent rains have not only resulted in damage to our roads and infrastructure, it has also created the perfect breeding environment for mosquitoes. So we have to be vigilant and continue to carry out measures to contain those pesky insects.
looking for any container or anything which can hold water. It doesn't need a lot of water for that mosquito to deposit its eggs. Very shallow quantity of water they can deposit in it.
The rain has fallen and this has collected water. And if it is allowed to sit in the environment for a couple of days, the Aedes aegypti will breed on it. This is a plastic over a pail and the water is on the plastic. This is a beautiful breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. We have a similar one right here. There's water on the top of this container and the Aedes aegypti mosquito will breed in it. Once the water begins to evaporate and she has a space to lay her eggs, she will lay her eggs and this will then become a breeding site. Turn it. We do appreciate that roof gutters are very necessary in some areas that do not have piped water, so it helps to collect the rainwater when it comes. However, if these roof drains become blocked by trash or other things, then it makes the water stagnant and it becomes a major breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So it's important if you have these roof gutters that you keep them clear, that the water is able to run. Even among your plants, we have plants that are, because of how the leaves overlap each other, they are able to collect water. And Aedes aegypti loves to breed in those environments. We suggest that persons do. If you think you love these plants and you want them, put them in pots. So when they do collect water, you're able to pick up the pots, drain them out and put them down. Because as it is right now, it's very difficult for us to get rid of the water and they will just continue to be in the environment as breeding sites.
This is a tire which has been discarded, but it's just in the backyard. And what we have now is apparently rainwater has now settled inside there and we have it breeding. The Aedes are back to the breeding inside here. It can be used as an enclosure for your plants, like a potted plant situation. So what we'll show you now is how we can have it filled with dirt that will ensure that when rain does fall, mosquito will not breed in it.
There's also a method of stacking the tires so that they will not collect water. We advise the tire shop owners to, for each tire that they get, to punch a hole in each of the tires. Once that is done, they can stock them in this plaiting form. So they have one row going in a particular direction and then another set going in the opposite direction, and they will continue with this. What this does, it allows the water to be directed towards where the hole is bored. So even if the rain comes and water goes in, the water will not settle but go out. We know that most churches have what is called a baptismal pool. And we have found baptismal pools to be a major breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So what is it that churches should do? We recommend that all baptismal pools be covered properly so that the mosquito will not have access to it for breeding. Sometimes the pools are shaped very funny, and so it's very difficult to cover. In those instances, we ask persons to empty the pool at least once per week. And after emptying the pool, we ask that you scrub the sides to ensure that you have dislodged all the eggs. So we saw many sites that were breeding the Aedes aegypti mosquito today. And we saw that these sites were found in and around our homes, business places. And if we do not deal with these breeding sites, they are going to continue to be there, posing a risk for the transmission of diseases because they are breeding the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So you must take action to rid your environment of those sites. So what is it that we're asking you to do? We want you to make this a habit. Once a week, search for and destroy the breeding sites of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya. Tough yam and banana, we not left ya.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, we run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya.
We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Those words by former British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill adequately sums up the importance of volunteering your time and effort to the advancement of your community. As we observe International Volunteer Day, we urge you to look around your community for projects that you can assist with your talents. There's a plethora of areas to choose from. It could be a homework center for children, a soup kitchen for the homeless, or visiting an elderly person in your community. And if projects you're interested in are not present, why not start one of your own? Remember, if you volunteer and others play their part, we can all achieve the goal of making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
We want a productive Jamaica. We are not productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
It's considered to be the most wonderful time of the year. And in true Christmas season fashion, we bring you a little gift courtesy of the children of Maxfield Park Primary School. And that's how we take our leave of you, but only for today. The magazine returns tomorrow around the same time on this station. Keep in touch with us, won't you? Email us jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or visit our website jis.gov.jm. On behalf of all of us here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.